Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey guys, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. My name is Gabby Flater. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We are into the episodes of the 40s. We're in the 40s. This is exciting. And March is already going to be right around the corner here, rolling into my first full year of podcasting, which is blowing my mind because I still don't know where the time goes. But if you've been here the whole time so far, I am so grateful for you and just taking time to listen to me. Sometimes I wonder, who even cares to listen to this crazy lady talk sometimes? And I don't know, but I'm following the Lord's prompting and just continuing to show up. And honestly, there have been most times when I don't quite feel like doing it or showing up that it really has blessed me. And I feel that it has allowed me to process things, to become a better communicator. Of course, I'm always looking for ways to improve that and feedback, and that's where you guys come into play. So constructive criticism, I'm all for hearing from you guys, whether you have that or just encouragement or a comment or a review or an episode you loved most. Everything matters and counts to me. So always know you can get in touch with me. My email is always listed in my show notes, gabby.flater@getrootedinhealth.com. And if you have me on social media, you can message me, and also just leaving a review. I really value every single review, and I hope to get more of those rolling in. So if you haven't and you mean to, seriously, just pause this episode. Just pause it right now. It takes 2 seconds and go leave a review on the show. Go to the main page of my show on your phone or whatever you use for your podcast host for listening. Usually this only works on Apple. So Apple Podcasts, you just go to my main page, scroll down, and you'll see leave a rating and a review. And you can leave your honest rating and review, and then you can pop back over here and tune back in. So grateful for it all. And really just helps get this show out into the world more and more. And yeah, so we can help inspire others. We just building a community, and I just love the community that I have built over the years, online and just in my physical world too. There is something to be said about you can't just hide behind your screen. And so I think there's just beauty in both, because we do have the online world these days that wasn't around when I was even in school. That was the newer thing, like MySpace and AOL Instant Messenger and stuff. That was kind of all just starting. Facebook was rolling out. I don't even remember the first year that started, but just didn't really have that way of creating a community online to impact other people. Obviously, were people doing that, but in other ways via blog and still podcasting and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's just been really cool to be able to watch things unfold over the years, and sometimes just not intentional. It just was kind of organic. But yeah, so we are phasing into the third week of January already. How are you managing the new year? It's okay if you're still in limbo of figuring out what the heck you are, focusing on for the year, whether you pick a word or a goal or you don't at all. But you're just kind of wiggling into the new year and finding your place and your rhythm. And there's no right or wrong. There's a lot of input out there in the world, so I just hope that you find something that maybe resonates with you, but nothing that feels forced because if it starts to feel forced or that you're guilted into something, then that should be a red flag right there, that is not something that you truly have on your heart, that you need to change or, there should be no guilt into it, or feeling that you should be. It has to all be, on your terms and for you. Do it for you. I think we talked about that. Is you can't live other people, or I posted it in a post, is you can't live, other people's goals, because then that just doesn't ever end well, and it just becomes a distraction. So you need to focus on you and your goals and just cheer other people on, right? So today, first of all, I just kind of wanted to, maybe thought we could kind of just recap a little bit of what my week looks like. If I sound more out of breath, I am just over 31 weeks pregnant. How, I don't know. But just kind of recapping a little bit of the week that I had. And it was just filled with back now into teaching both of my classes at the Y. I have a Monday cycle and a Tuesday TRX class. So was off from cycle for a little while with just holiday stuff. So I had that and taught my TRX class on Tuesday, which was awesome. I got some running in this week with some friends and some solo treadmill runs as well. I had gone out and done a impromptu trail run. I found a sitter for my kids for like an hour and a half, and that was a very humbling run. I haven't run trails in a long time. It was sunny out. There was no snow here. Like if it was snowy and all that stuff, I really wouldn't be running this pregnant. But I knew it was like spring here in Wisconsin for a hot moment. Which is crazy in January, but everything thawed a little bit just too much, where it just was too muddy, and one of my friends had actually slipped and fell. She's fine, but we were just like, nope, you know what, after 2.5, 3 miles, we went back to the road. I could already tell, like, there were points when I needed to walk a little bit, and they circled back for me, which was fine. I just was like, yep, this definitely is not for me. And so I was as careful as I could be, and then we hit the roads and finished up some miles, and was just grateful, though, to be outside in the daylight. I really just wanted to be able to run in the daylight, not have to run early squirrely in the morning with all my light gear, and it be freezing. So it was just nice to be out in nature with the sun shining on us, and I could get away from life for a moment and just go run. So that was that, but again, a very humbling run. We scored an awesome deal on some blackberries, organic blackberries. Our store out here, one of them is Woodman's, and I was informed there was a sale on blackberries, 3 containers for 99 cents. And the organic ones were only 59 cents each. So, of course, me being me, I went for the organic ones because I will gladly pay 59 cents a package for organic, because that's what we would prefer. Now, if organic was not on sale, I would have gobbled up all the other ones. But I really wanted to go for that. And so we came home with like 36 little containers of those, and had intentions of making blackberry jam, which we did eventually. And then so we had that on our plate. What else was I doing? Some sourdough baking in between there. Also, I had ordered a new cover for my greenhouse, my indoor greenhouse. And part of me was like, okay, Gabby, so you ordered a new cover. Does this mean that you're doing it? And in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're doing it. So I'm pretty confident that I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just doing like the things that I know I need to start inside and that our family eats. So, I think this year I'm really going to focus on just simple. And so I really want to grow some really good like tomatoes for salsa, and like when we make tomato soup, or when we want to make like I want to make a chili or something. So these are going to be more like Roma tomatoes that have less juice inside of them, because my family will not eat tomatoes really otherwise a whole lot. I love them, but I cannot consume too much. There's only so much I can eat. So just not having as many cherry tomato plants, or the big like beefsteak tomatoes. We'll still grow some cherry tomatoes because the kids every now and again will come out and grab one. So, and every year is different. So I'm hopeful that, maybe they'll be willing to do that. But that, and we'll start some peppers inside, and maybe some onions. So that for sure I can get done before this baby comes. So hopefully right around late February, early March, just before the baby comes, I will get that going. So I have that ordered, and my seeds are inside so that I can organize them before I pull the trigger on ordering even anything. Who knows if I even need anything. My husband would appreciate me going through my seeds before I order some more, which I need to. I just need to. So, so that was kind of our week. And then we ended our week. It was my husband and I's anniversary. We hit a full decade, 10 years. And we, obviously being pregnant, I had big dreams prior to knowing I was pregnant that, okay, we were going to go do something big. We're turning 30 this year in a couple months too. It's our 10-year anniversary. It's a big year. Let's maybe go away. And then I got pregnant. And so we're just going to put that on hold for now until there's a better time. And that's okay. It's just a date. We can still celebrate and reflect and remember and do something different to celebrate, and do something later on down the road, when time and different seasons of life allow. So totally okay. We actually went to a wave game for our son's birthday gift. This was the second part of his gift. And so we went to an indoor soccer game downtown. So it was our first time bringing all the kids down with us. That was exhausting, let me tell you. It was fun, but it was exhausting. I don't think I could say sit down anymore, or sit still, or no more food, anymore. So, but we did it, and memories were made. So, we got through that. We also were able to go and have a little homeschooling adventure at my parents'. They have a lot of land, and they raise their own beef cattle. Their cattle, own cattle for beef, if I can say that right. And they had put down one of their cows about 2 weeks ago, and then they let it cure. The longer you let it cure, the more like the meat. I don't even know the right word. Yeah, it's curing. It just tastes better, and I don't know, something happens to the meat when you let it sit for a little while. And we got to go and be a part of it finally. Every time they've done it, we haven't been able to line it up well, where we're not busy or something to be able to go. And so it was like our homeschooling adventure. And so Winston, I had no idea how he was going to respond, and it was super cool. He got to watch his grandpa and his uncle and another family friend just like go at it and like cut different cuts off the bones and all the things. And he did great. I wasn't even down there with him the whole time when they were working on it. We were up at the house with buckets of meat that would be brought up to us, and just like wrap up the roasts and cut up stew meat and set aside the stuff that is going to be ground up for ground beef. And so I know it sounds kind of gross, and if all that kind of stuff grosses you out, I totally get it. I'm not fazed by raw meat. It's not a big deal to me. I wasn't a part of the killing the cow. Now that would be a different story. I'm not sure I could handle that. But seeing the meat on the bones and all the things, like, no big deal. This is how life works, right? It's how we get it to our plate. So it was a really neat thing for him to be able to see, like, this is a cow, and this is how we get the meat, and this is where it comes from. Like when we have a hamburger or we have taco meat, or a roast, like this is where it comes from and how it gets to our plate. So we're already having some beef, like a pot roast, or no, not pot roast, beef stew tonight for dinner with some of the fresh stew meat that I had cut up. My mom sent me home with a few things. So super cool to have that experience, and just grateful for family and resources that we have just all around us. So that was our week. And this week, I wanted to chat with you guys about hurrying less. And I contend to, this is really speaking to me too. I contend to be one who's in a hurry or just busy. Being in a hurry / just being busy. I feel like we don't know as a society sometimes how to slow down, how to just be with our own thoughts, be with just ourselves, be in the moment. We always need to be stimulated. No wonder so many of us can't focus or have a hard time sitting still or remembering things, or struggle with like ADD, ADHD type tendencies. It's only become more rampant, I think, because of just technology and the fast pace of society, and the concept of like work for it, like the later, oh my goodness, I can't think of the right word. But like you get the reward later. And not instant gratification. There we go. It's delayed. We're not used to that as much these days. Everything is, oh, I want it. I'm just going to open Amazon and click order by, and it'll be here in a day or two. Sometimes the day of. Talk about instant gratification, right? And I was actually, so I slowed down one morning, and I was like, I'm just going to read a chapter out of this book. I'm going to keep going through it. Keep getting through a book. I have some time to sit down. My Juliet was not feeling well, so she was just wanting to snuggle, and I was like, well, if I'm sitting here snuggling her, I could read. So we snuggled, and I was reading a chapter out of that book, 1,000 Gifts. I talked about it on a prior podcast. Anne Voskamp, she also was the one that had done some of that Advent books that I had shared back in our Christmas episode. And this chapter just really hit it on the head for me. She made a comment, and I even did a post on this online, but really felt it was worth sharing here that time is, the saying goes that time is money, right? Like we hear that all the time. And while that rings true, what if we actually just shifted the concept that time is life? And if we want the fullest life, then we must find the fullest time. We need to find satisfaction in life and feel full when we must sit in patience in the moments and slow down. Because when we're in a hurry, when we're always in a hurry, we're never fully entering into the moment, into the present, into the now. And sometimes, honestly, it can be a sense of coping. And I'm being fully transparent here that is 100% me. Sometimes, a lot of the times, I will tend to stay busy, keep busy, because I don't want to deal with the things that are needing my attention, that are needing some adjusting, that are kind of right there in front of me, but I'm like, I just don't want to see it. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to stay busy and pretend that it's not there, or pretend that it doesn't need me or my attention. And it's a way of coping. And sometimes that's okay. Like with death, especially, like, yeah, it was hard to sometimes sit in the moments going through some grieving processes. And so staying busy was a way of like numbing that. And sometimes then it becomes a habit and you end up continuing with that. But it really just struck a chord with me and really just encouraged me to be like, Gabby, it's okay to slow down. Because I do find that when I actually have a moment, like when I have to do a long car ride, like a drive to my parents is just shy of an hour, I get so lulled, like, and even when I have to sit down with my son to do school and I'm forced to sit and I'm not busy cooking. I'm not busy running around chasing a child. I'm not working out. I'm not on my phone. Like I'm not being overstimulated, and I'm actually like sitting and I can't do anything else other than be fully present in this like moment of driving or like watching and waiting for my son to finish reading a sentence or his math problem. I feel very lulled to like calmness. Just like I have a problem with falling asleep while driving, not but like dozing off. Like I get really sleepy and I'm very on alert with that. Like I have to find ways always to make sure I'm staying awake. And yeah, it's not cool. Like my body literally gets into a trance. Like I get so calmed. And I've found that I actually, because it's happened other times not driving, that it's because I'm actually not busy. I'm here in the moment. I'm just not being stimulated. And I think I always just, our watches are always buzzing. Our phones are always pinging. We're always trying to keep up with the latest and the greatest. And there's just constant, news and media and everything. And then just mom life in general, that's like ping-ponging back and forth from kid to kid. And so when all of a sudden there's nothing, it's like, whoa, how do I like handle nothingness? But then, yeah, so just like, I've really noticed that about myself. But with the whole like grieving process, it's hard to be with your thoughts sometimes. And so staying busy, like I was saying, is totally normal and just fine to do for a time. But you also know that, I hope that you know that you do need to deal with those emotions and process them and allow yourself to feel them and not numb them and not be like, I don't want to feel that, so I'm just going to find something happy. Like it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be still, and it's okay to be with your thoughts and in the moment and just stay calm presence and not hurrying from thing to thing. And we can be kind of like spazzy, like I don't know, sometimes I feel like, wow, get in the car, like we're always in a hurry. Why are we always in a hurry? Why? Like, was this worth it? Did I really need to do this? Did I need to schedule this? How could this have gone better? How could this have gone different? And sometimes I'm like, okay, we need to readjust how we're handling some of our plans and obligations. And it's okay to say no. It really is. But hurrying, when we're using it as a source of coping and hurrying from one thing to the next to avoid pain, the hurt, or the reality of whatever we're dealing with, like that's when we have to just start to be careful. And also, if you're struggling in life and you're really needing a sense of like direction and peace and clarity, you're not going to get that when you're sitting amidst noise and busying your body and hurrying yourself. There's no time for anything to speak into your mind and your soul and your spirit, and for you to have a moment of like processing different things to get that clarity. And it's going to feel really hard, and it's worth it. Same with like anything in life. It's worth the uncomfortable first 10 times you do it, because after that, it becomes like just a part of your normal routine, your normal habits, your normal thought process. That's with anything. So is it worth the uncomfortable 5-10 minutes of sitting in silence or peace or journaling in the mornings or the evenings or whenever? Yes, it's worth it, because you're going to get the clarity. And if you have a relationship with the Lord or you're seeking one, that's where you're going to find him, in the quiet. He doesn't exist in the noise. He's waiting for us to come and join him in the quiet. And I need to be better at that myself too. I sense that I crave that, and I know that I am blessed by that when I choose to do that more often. And when I do, I feel that I don't always get clarity. I don't always get feedback. I don't get like an aha moment every time. You're not supposed to. So don't throw it away if you're not getting those right away. But it's the point of showing up and consistently doing that that can end in some days that bring you those moments that you're seeking. And it'll leave you with a full soul. It'll leave you feeling full and just more at peace. So know that when you're in a hurry, it's like emptying your soul. Hurry empties a soul. But when you're living a slow, intentional, and grateful life, that fills the soul. And so I want you guys to just think about how much of your life is hurried, in a hurry. You're always on the go. And what are ways that you can slow down? How can you adjust your schedules and your life, or talk together as a family to get on board with some things? How can you wake up earlier and start your day with more intention and gratitude and slowness, rather than always oversleeping and bolting out the door, barely getting anything to eat. It also doesn't help you physically, because you're always in this high stress mode. When was the last time you actually just took a deep breath and you remembered breathing? Like, do you remember breathing in your day? I'm like, wow, okay, I need to take a breath and focus on some intentional breathing, especially at this point in my pregnancy. Really needing to just start allowing myself to check in with my body and tell it it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Take a deep breath, relax the shoulders, relax your jaw, your core, just everything, all the facial muscles, and just breathe and release. I feel like I just want to do that right now. And have moments in your day. Maybe you got to set reminders where it just says breathe or relax or slow down. And you need to schedule it in your day. It sounds silly, but if you want anything to get done these days, you got to schedule it, right? And because we live in such a busy world, it's not a slow world. So why would you schedule something that is already happening? It's not happening. So if it's not happening, then you need to make it happen. We need to make it happen. So I hope that you can find moments to slow down, to calm your thoughts, that you can get the clarity that you're looking for, that you can just get the peace. Maybe it's just the stress and anxiety, and it's really helpful if you can just learn to be. And it heals your body. It heals the inflammation, the stress, the anxiety, the depression, all of it. When we can learn to live a less hurried life and be more present in the areas of your life that need more of you. Even though we know it needs us, we just don't want to give ourselves to it because it feels uncomfortable, it feels scary, it feels unknown, and it doesn't feel, easy. But yet we know that it could be good for us. Isn't that crazy? We're just crazy humans. We're weird. We are so weird. Sometimes we don't make sense. So let's focus more on time is life and live it to the fullest. And how can you do that? And you can do that by being more intentional, more grateful, more purposeful, more slow with each day implementing that in. So I hope that this really encouraged you and just leaves you with really good thoughts of reflection. And I look forward to hearing your takeaways. You can share that in our Rooted in Health Facebook community group. I love getting messages from you guys. You can leave that in a review, screenshot this and share it. What was something that a golden nugget? I love being able to share other people's wisdom that I hear and I'm like, that really was good. I wrote it down and then I screenshot and share their message so other people can be encouraged. So it means so much to me if, things like this can be exposed to more of other people's communities, because if you're here, chances are the people that you are connected to should be here too, being in this space. And they'll find out if it's not for them, if they like me or not. But I'm glad that you like me and that we're here together, living life, getting healthy and well for the long run. So I hope you guys have an awesome week. Be blessed. Be grateful. Slow down. Take some deep breaths. And you are going to feel so much better. All right, guys. We will talk soon. Bye-bye.